I remember seeing this campaign of yours for Dove, right? And I have to say it was one of my most favorite pieces of content because it really spoke to me. And what spoke to me was the level of research you did, how you'd gone in and you'd like found like an old ad that you really wanted to bring to life. Then seeing the BTS of you in the freaking cold with it like a bathrobe or a towel around you, like and I can imagine like how many shots were taken, and then that whole image of putting in the birds and everything. I'm really inspired by your content because you always try to think outside the box. Can you talk me through your methodology in terms of where you seek inspiration and what's the process like bringing that to life? Like you can use an example if you like.
To be honest, I feel like my inspiration just comes from my life. The Dove example that you had is actually a great example of something that I didn't do. So it's funny that you bring that one up. So I was given this campaign. I was working with one of my friends who's a photographer. He's absolutely talented. His Instagram handle is Infinite Movements. And I told him I needed to shoot this campaign. And he's actually the one that I was like, I wanted to be like fun and authentic and cute and whatever. And he's actually the one that found that picture. Yeah, that old ad. And we decided to recreate it. And then we brainstormed back and forth, like how we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. So like there was a bit of a creative process in there. But a lot of the time, my ideas come from just what's happening in my life, like how I'm feeling at the time, things I've talked about with other people, just basically anything along those lines. I feel like I get inspiration from anywhere and everywhere. I think people try to look to other people for inspiration, but there's so many things that are already just inside of you that should be inspiring enough. I think too many people think they're normal and that their life is average when it's not. They have so many beautiful stories to tell and so many of their own hardships and struggles and views of life that they think is just average, but it's not. People like everyone has such a different perspective. Like, why not use that to your advantage? You know what I mean? And that's how I view it. Like, I feel like I do what comes to my mind, what comes to my heart, what speaks to me. And whenever I do that, I feel like my content just does so well, like, and it speaks for itself. Yeah. And I feel like when I'm trying to do things that other people are doing or copy, like, copy what I see on Instagram, sometimes it does well, but if it's not something that I genuinely, truly like felt in my like soul, I find that it doesn't do too well.
And you don't feel fulfilled because you didn't feel like it came from an authentic place, because you feel inspired by what someone else is doing, but it just doesn't feel the same way as you.
Authentic, right? Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of people that I guess aren't authentic that are doing well, but at the end of the day is like, do you feel fulfilled with your work? And, for me, it's kind of like, well, maybe I don't have the biggest following, or I'm not doing everything everyone else is doing, so I'm not popping off like as much as everyone else. But at the end of the day, I absolutely love what I do and I love what I put out, and it inspires the people that it inspires. And that's all I can really ask for. I think a lot of people are out there trying to chase like the clout and the fans and get deals, and all that stuff comes after. I find when you do something you love, I think it does take longer, but it does come afterwards. Like if you chase what you love, if you chase your passion, the success and the money will follow. It might take a little bit longer for sure, but it will follow. So don't like stress about that too much. And if you are stressed about money, because some people are, obviously, like for me, when I first started this, I was stressed about money. Like find different means to make money and still make your dreams work. You know what I mean? Like if you have that dream and you really want it, like there should be no stopping you at that point. There should be no, like, nothing that gets in between. If that means you have to work extra hard, then work extra hard. Figure. And I had a lot of problems when I started this, and I had to work my ass off. I had to work around a schedule where I'm suffering from all these medical conditions and that were debilitating to me, and dealing with the pressure of my family and dealing with the pressure of my finances and dealing with the pressure of not having enough space in my house to actually do what I wanted to do and all these things. But you figure out a way around it if you really want to.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing this analogy about, like, when you're in the ocean and if someone was to dunk your head underwater, the only thing you're going to think about is getting like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
So just like that, if you're truly passionate about something, you're not going to sit there making excuses. You're going to have that like tunnel vision. Like, it doesn't matter if I have a small space, or it doesn't matter if I've got to do, 5 other jobs to make this dream come true. I'm going to do it because I'm truly passionate about it. And I love that point you made about how, don't chase clout, and don't just do what everybody else is doing purely for the fame, followers, and money. As much as it's hard right now to stay authentic and just do what you need to do and grow slowly, it's actually easier in the long run, because when you start getting recognized for the work that you naturally put out, later you're not going to feel pressured to be someone that you're not, because you're just naturally doing what you love. And I think that's such an interesting and important point, because I think a lot of girls, especially younger girls who are seeing these content creators, feel this pressure because they want to start out in this digital space, and they feel like they've got to create this type of content, but it doesn't come from an authentic place, and it doesn't set them apart either, which actually hinders their growth, because it's not any different.
And I also feel like the following that you grow doesn't become loyal to you to some extent. You know what I mean? Like, they're just there, especially like there's so many pretty girls on Instagram. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, what makes you different from the next pretty girl, right? Like, what else do you have to offer? And so it's like, yeah, I'll follow you because you're so pretty, but like, how do you have my loyalty at this point? And like, some people they do get their loyalty from that, but at some point it can only go so far. Like, your looks, your like everything that's surface level, your material things, your looks, like whatever it is, that can only go so far. So like, what are you going to do when you're like 50, 60 and you don't look like that anymore? Like, what's your job going to be? You can't be like an Instagram model forever. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be like an exit strategy to that, right? And like, so if you're just thinking like short term, oh, I want to get famous, I want to get all this like clout and money and whatever, like, what's your long-term goal? And honestly, like, what do you want to be known for? Like, what do you want people to think of you? Because that's what you're really putting out there, is an image of yourself. So what do you want people to know about you? Do you want them to just know that you're a pretty girl, nice butt, slim waist, like, you know what I mean? Or do you want them to know that you have so much more to offer? And there's nothing wrong with showing your body or being pretty and showing that off, like, nothing wrong with that. But if that's all you're showing, then I feel like that's all you're going to be known for. And then don't be surprised when people come back to you with comments where they're just like judging your appearance or talking about your money, or just talking about just such, I guess, superficial things. And they really know nothing about you and what you're about and the struggles you've been through and all that stuff. Like why not share those things? Yeah, why not actually connect?
It's so true, because yes, they're going to give you a like and they might comment and drop you a compliment, but it's just not sustainable. Like, you want to actually add some value into these people's lives because they're invested in engaging with your content. You want to give back. You don't want to incite jealousy or insecurity in them, because that's not your legacy. So 100%, you worded that so beautifully. I 100% agree with you.